Friday Flow number 24. Today I have a very special guest, Paul Roustan. He is a professional artist, a body painter, and a photographer. He's the winner of the North American Bodypaint Championships and also recognized one of the world's leading body painters whose style combines traditional art, pop culture, and reflections of the contemporary world. I am so proud and so excited to talk to Paul everything about NFTs and the metaverse because he's been creating amazing opportunities for his art and himself inside the NFTs. And like you, I am very interested in learning with him. Now, let me just get him here. And if you're watching the recording, I am 100% sure that you will love this conversation. Paul, let's welcome Paul here. To have Paul here, and please do send us questions. Hello.
Hey, Drica.
How
Long
are
time.
you?
I'm good. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Paul. I know you're like so busy. Thank you so much for taking the time to
It's
be
all
on
good.
Friday Flow. Today is number 24. I cannot wait to talk to you everything about NFTs and the metaverse and all of your creative process. I know you've been like killing into the NFT world, so let's get into it.
Yeah.
I know we talked a little bit when you came like a few months ago. It was towards the very beginning of NFTs that you stopped by in my studio and you already like were so excited about it, how to get it started. Um, why do you think you got so interested into the NFTs? Do you think it's because of the type of art that you create? And can you just explain in a little bit how you got into it, the NFT, and a little bit of your original work and how you transition into the NFTs?
For some reason, when I first discovered NFTs, I didn't react to it the same way that most people do. Most people think it's kind of strange and weird and doesn't make sense, but I almost immediately saw the potential and jumped on it right away. And for me, as a body painter, I paint on people and then I photograph them. The painting itself gets washed off a few hours later, so it can never be truly kept permanently. It's an ethereal, ephemeral work of art. You know, it doesn't exist forever. So when
Mm-hmm.
I understood NFTs and being able to sell, it's mostly beneficial to digital artists and film artists that couldn't really sell their work in the past as one of ones, and me too as a ephemeral body painter. It's not easy to sell my work as a one of one original, and so I saw that as the primary benefit of NFTs, and then I really started investigating it hardcore and uncovered so many more things that just made it more valuable for my work.
That's amazing. And like for people who don't understand like what NFT is, NFTs is a non-fungible token. So maybe you can correct me if I'm saying wrong, but I think the best way to explain what NFT is explain what NFTs it is not. For example, if you hand me $100 and I can exchange for two or 50, and that's a fundable token. So the non-fundable token, it's like exists one of a kind. Then that's why you were saying that the type of work, artwork that you do, which you can film and create, and a non-fundable token, so it turns into like an original art that your collectors can have it forever. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's kind of a long-winded version. It's pretty confusing, but basically, so it's attached to cryptocurrency. You have this blockchain token in the NFT world. It's commonly Ethereum, but it can also be a few other cryptocurrencies. I also use a
Mhm.
environmentally friendly currency called Tezos. But basically, the digital file gets attached to the blockchain, to this currency, to this token. And so the
Mhm.
value of the token is it's one of a kind. It can't be forged. It can't be hacked, and and it's completely authentic. And so that's how like you can create this file as a one of one, and there's only one. It's tracked, it's locked in on this blockchain, and it cannot be replicated. There's only one. So the authenticity can be proven instantly. And in another way that people describe it is, there's a whole bunch of people that believe that you can just right click, download, and save a picture. Like, why buy the NFT? Basically, it's like if you go to the museum to take a picture of the Mona Lisa, you can take a photo of the Mona Lisa, but you don't own it. You just have a picture of it. That's the same as downloading and saving. If you actually buy the NFT, that's your token, and you can now resell that or keep it or do whatever you want with it, but that's yours. And then another thing that most artists are considering or confused about is, does owning that token mean that the buyer has the right to publish or print or profit from the rights of the artwork? And no, not necessarily. Etiquette shows that they don't have that right. You can sell that right, which is kind of cool, at a higher price. But anybody can do anything. It's the Wild West. Someone could take it and sell it, and then you have to go into a legal battle. But basically, I just don't, if I'm worried about that, I just don't sell things that I don't want people to print. So you can sell a 500 by 500 pixel image. You could sell a 1 by 1 pixel image as an NFT. And to me, worrying about someone printing and selling, to me, that's a thing of the past. Like, I'm over printing. I don't want to print or frame or do any of that anymore. To me, the value of NFTs are those things are obsolete. And so I sell an NFT, the buyer pays, I get the money instantly without any haggle or waiting. I don't have to ship anything. I don't have to frame or store or protect anything. It's all instantaneous, and it's good to go. And the first time I learned that was one day I sold $400 worth of NFTs, and I randomly sold a $300 print on my website. And I was so annoyed to have to get up and go package and ship the artwork.
And ship it.
Like, to me, it just felt so old. And so
Really?
I still print when people request it, but NFTs are the way for me.
Yeah, I don't think NFTs it's going nowhere, and that's why like I want to have this conversation. Like I haven't started anything with NFTs yet. Of course, it is on my radar. That's why I want to have this conversation to learn a little bit from you. And I know, like for me right now that I'm not involved into the NFTs, I just know a little bit here and there. I feel a little bit overwhelmed. Like if I go to my messages in my Instagram, I have like 50 different people reaching out to me talking about NFTs. So what will be the best approach for someone like me who haven't started anything yet to go for it? What kind of knowledge and skills should I be acquiring right now to get into the right place in NFTs and Metaverse?
The best advice I give newcomers is to forget what you know about marketing and self-promoting, and forget how things work on Instagram. Twitter is kind of the mecca for NFTs, for connections and community. And
Twitter?
Yeah, Twitter's the place to be for that. Instagram still works. I don't really use it that much, but basically Instagram is a me platform. It's all about me. You post stuff about yourself and hope that people care about it. Twitter and the value of the retweet is so powerful because it's a platform that gives you the power to make it about other people, about you. So you can celebrate and support other people's work, and the ones who understand how it all works will reciprocate. So you go out there and you find people that you're connected to within the NFT world, and you learn from them and you talk to them and you share their stuff, and ideally they would reciprocate, and basically you work as a community to all grow together. And that's like the way that it should be. And unfortunately Instagram doesn't really foster that, and it's a beautiful thing when it's done correctly.
It's all about community, people
Yes.
one helping each other and connected one another with
The-
different information.
You know the saying, the more you give, the more you receive.
Yeah.
And I'm a big believer though and don't just give for the sake of giving. Like, give because you mean it. Be authentic, be yourself, enjoy it, have fun. Don't do things with the goal of like succeeding. You know, it should be fun.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. But now, like, let's get into a little bit of the technical stuff. If you are able to explain, like, for example, is there like a certain skills that I should be acquiring, and what type of skills to be able to actually produce, let's say, transform my regular fine art into some sort of NFTs?
You're basically doing it already on Instagram. So when you post a picture on Instagram, you're creating a digital image, and that's
Mm-hmm.
basically the same thing. So like most of the people that follow you, maybe except for the locals, they only see your work digitally. You know, they don't get to
Mm-hmm.
see it in person like the locals.
It's
So
true.
so what the difference though is Instagram is not an NFT platform. I think they're planning on creating NFT capabilities within the app. I've heard.
Yeah, that's what I
I know
heard too.
Twitter is, but which would be amazing. But basically, you just need to learn the platforms that allow you to upload NFTs.
Oh, I see.
That's
And
pretty much it.
what will be a few platforms that you recommend for NFTs?
I recommend OpenSea, but that's an ETH platform. So there's a big push against NFTs because of environmental consciousness. I don't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily believe all the headlines that I'm reading regarding that. Just in case, when I do sell an NFT on the Ethereum platform, I donate 10 times the portion of my wallet usage to carbon offset, to offset my carbon footprint. Just in
Wow.
case. I don't necessarily believe that it's as bad as they say it is, but just in case I do that. And then I use another platform called object.com, objekt.com. That's a very good platform to mint Tezos NFTs. And Tezos is completely green, completely environmentally friendly.
Oh,
It's
I
a more
love that.
accessible platform. You can start cheap and sell cheap, and it's more about selling to people that don't really have a lot of money to buy, but you can
Mm.
really build a nice community on that platform. But OpenSea is kind of like it's kind of like the Walmart of NFTs. It's very big. There's a lot of people on it, but it's way more affordable to post your work there than other platforms, and they take a lot less percentage from sales. So I
Mm.
recommend that as a starting point for anybody who's trying out NFTs. And I've tried out many different platforms, and I'm kind of for Ethereum. I'm back on OpenSea, just because of the fees. Really, it
Mm-hmm.
can be super expensive otherwise.
I see. So you better like check all like before you get into any of these platforms to read all of the informations that they have and what kind of fees that they take it and see which one that works best for you. I love that. I will definitely going to check your recommendations. Um, now Now let's talk about a little bit of your creative process. We talk a little bit about your body painting and how did you turn into the NFTs? So how is your creative process comparing to your regular body painting and photography that you used to do and then the NFTs? Is anything in particular that you'd like to explain about related to NFTs?
I mean, I guess the only thing that I've adjusted for NFTs is I prepare videos in vertical mode
Mm,
instead of horizontal. I mean that's a matter of taste. It doesn't have to be vertical. Like you can really produce anything you want, but you know, for a long time I was producing videos for YouTube. I still am, so I have to do horizontal for that. Obviously, you have to do vertical for a lot of social media platforms, but NFTs, like just picturing artwork on the wall, I think vertical tends to look better often with the human body. It depends what the art is, but so that was something I had to consider, like the technical aspects of the video quality, like 1080p versus 4K, and the frame rate and all that stuff. So that's pretty much the only thing I had to change and be aware of.
And how do you, what exactly are the NFTs that you offer? Is just like snips of your videos, or like the best parts of your videos and the body paint, or is there any specific approach that you do with the body painting that you create?
I,
Which,
I for the accessible platform, or for the more affordable NFTs that I put out in editions, I usually do photos. And then for the more expensive one of ones or more expensive editions, smaller, lower editions, I'll do videos where you can see the body painting in motion. And so there's a huge price difference there, but there's like, it makes it more accessible to everybody. You can pick and choose which one you want to buy. And I try to make the more expensive ones have what I feel is more value with the motion. But it seems like a lot of people are preferring the photos over the videos. So, who knows?
wow. So you do like photos as like the lower, a little lower price, and then you can get like the full, complete body paint into a like
Yes.
more high level
with
price.
like a subtle performance or some or music attached to it, things like that.
Wow, that's so amazing. And how do you get, you said that Twitter will be the best way to get in contact and to start like building your community. So you just go on Twitter and like try to find people that already is involved on an NFT, because I know it's like a certain language too that you might like. I probably have to learn like a lot
Yeah.
on the language, and there's so many other things besides the art. There's so, it's almost like a completely different universe that people are creating in there, and that it seems like there's no limit for it. um so how do you go about, like, you just kind of like get a like a entire week like understanding the language
Yes.
and seeing what people are doing it to actually like start
Yes.
building the community?
Definitely don't worry about sales too much. I mean, it took me like 5 months before I got my first sale, for one thing.
Wow.
And I was just sitting there watching all my colleagues make sales, and I was genuinely happy for them. That's one of the most beautiful things. People are super supportive of each other in this community, and they're genuinely excited for each other. But I was sitting there, but I believed in it so much. I wanted NFTs to work so much because it was so good for my work that
Hmm.
I just didn't want to turn back. So I was okay, even if I never made a sale. I was okay sitting there for 5 months and like just seeing it happen. And but basically, yes, a beginner, I would just go through Twitter, follow everybody. Like you could basically go through the people that I follow on Twitter at Roustan NFT, and just pick and choose artists and collectors that you might be interested in, and just start to engage. Look at their posts, retweet their posts, talk to them, just create conversation. DM people if you have questions. How did you do this? Or what do you recommend for this? And most people will get back to you and answer you. And do that for a little while, maybe a month, two weeks a month. And but go at it hard. Don't just hope it's gonna figure itself out for you. Like you have to really work at this. It's not an overnight success kind of thing like people seem to believe based off of the media. But yeah, you do that, and little by little you'll figure it out, and don't give up. Really, I mean, to me, the most important thing is authenticity, patience, and consistency. And even if you don't see the results quickly, like don't stop, just keep going. I think most people give up way too soon.
Yeah, and I think also part of this is like the media, what the media creates such a like this huge impact that seems like that every artist who wants to join the NFT will become a millionaire like out of the sudden, which is not the case. I mean, it might happen, but it's
Yeah.
not something that you have to wait for it. Like you said, like persistence and patience, I think they're the key, just like any other type of work that you would engage, correct?
Yeah, I mean, you can. So there are definitely, like, I've seen multiple articles about 12-year-olds making like $300,000 or something like that, and that's
Hmm.
totally true. It's totally doable. A lot of them do it with collections. So you create a generative collection. I think probably in most cases, I think the parent maybe helped the kid, but kids are amazingly smart too. They can figure it out themselves. But basically, collections, like collectibles, it's a whole other form of NFTs. So there's one of one art, there's collectibles, there's generative art where computers create the result basically. And that's really popular right now. But collectibles are kind of like, to me, it's like a job. that's like a hardcore job. Like I almost started a collectible, and the more I was getting into it, the more I was realizing I don't really want to do this. Like it feels like work, and
Can
I
you?
prefer to have fun. You know.
I love that. That's always the best way. Can you tell us what collectible would be differentiate with the other type
So
of
like the
NFT?
most popular ones right now that you might see in the press a lot are CryptoPunks and
Mm-hmm.
Bored Ape Yacht Club. Those are like two of the big boys. And so basically, usually they come in quantities of like 10,000, so 10,000 people can buy into it. And then
Mm-hmm.
ideally, the value of what you buy goes up. And so the beauty of it from the creator standpoint is you sell 10,000 of them at a cheap price to start, and you make a nice chunk of profit from that. And then if everything goes right and it goes up in value, you make money on the secondary. And the secondary in the top quality cases are going to be way more than the initial primary sale investment. Your percentage is going to be way more. So like
Mm.
for example, like the primary sale might be like $80 to $400 maybe. And then like I just saw that I think it was Logan Paul or Jake Paul, one of those Paul twins, sold their Bored Ape Yacht Club for like $500,000 or something like that, and they spent I think $50,000 on it. And
Wow.
so like so they made that collector made I don't know 10 times what he spent, and then but the original artist made 2.5 to 10% of that sale back, and that's just one of the 10,000 that happened.
Wow.
So that's collectibles are really good for making money. But the hard work part is in building the community to keep
Mm.
the value growing. And you need a team, you need a programmer, you need a developer, you need a marketer, you need so much. You need someone to handle Discord dialogues and keep the community satisfied and keep things growing. Like it's not just make art and sell it. You know, it's a job. But
It's a
I
job. It's
didn't
a
want to do that. Takes
I
too much
love
time.
that. I love that. So are you only doing NFTs? That's where you spend most of your time? Of course, creating the
Yeah,
art and the
I mean,
body paint.
I try to do one body painting a week at least, and then put out the content from that on YouTube and Patreon, and sell some NFTs. I try to sell accessible NFTs at least twice a week, and I have my one of ones just kind of listed. I put a new one up when I can. But I've been extremely busy, and more of my time lately is spent in the metaverse, and that's a whole other amazing world. I mean, NFTs are cool, but the metaverse is huge,
Yeah, I saw you in
huge
your
opportunity.
website. You created the entire space, like a gallery space. So
Yeah,
let's talk about that because I saw it and it's just blown my mind. So Metaverse is pretty much like a virtual reality that you create. And can you tell us a little bit about what you create and just your approach on this whole like
yeah.
Metaverse?
So back in April, I had already been a month into NFTs, and on Twitter, some random guy DM'd me asking if I wanted to. I'll shout out to the party. He goes by the party. Um, randomly, if I want, asked me if I wanted to show my work in Decentraland, the metaverse, in an art gallery in this metaverse, and I was like, okay, Google what a metaverse is, and I was
How
just
long
like,
ago?
one of the things. This was April, and so
Okay.
one of the things that I've definitely applied to my NFT work is to be a yes man. Don't say no to opportunities, you know. And it
Mm.
seemed kind of cool, you know. I was like, whatever, yeah, let's do it. If someone's gonna like, people don't usually invite me, so I'll take an invitation. So so I did it. He gave me a tour before it happened. I logged into my browser computer into this game, Decentraland, and I explored, got a tour of this place, and I met a couple DJs and met a couple landowners, virtual landowners. And you have to create your avatar, you know. So I made mine look like me, and I met one of the landowners I met had this insane pair of glasses, virtual glasses, and I was like, "Those are cool." I didn't see those in the avatar, the basic avatar set. He's like, "Oh yeah, no, these you got to buy these. These were like
Oh,
$800." And I was like,
no
$800
way.
for a pair of virtual glasses?
Virtual glass crazy.
And I thought that was insane. I was like, why would anybody do that? And so I just kept going on with the tour and got to see the gallery and was like, this is cool. I'll send your artwork to this guy and they'll put them up. And so now I did that, and I come to the opening, which was like a week or two later, and almost immediately I was hit with a collector that was looking at the work on the walls. I didn't even get to look at the work yet, and someone's asking me questions. And the cool thing was that I was answering these questions publicly, so everyone in this space, and at the time there was probably like 60 to 80 people there, they could see my answers. So it's like, as an artist in a gallery show, dozens of people ask you the same question over and over again, and you're sitting there saying the same thing over and over again all night. And I didn't have to do that here. I just answered it once, everybody heard it, and that was cool. Then I had a chance to walk around and look at the art, and the art was displayed in a way that if it was the real world, they would be like 10 feet wide, huge.
Wow.
Like framed with these neon lights. It looked amazing. It was like being in Blade Runner, sort of. And and I was blown away. I was like, if this was real life, this would cost tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars potentially to put up a show like this. And I was like, here I am sitting in my underwear in front of my computer,
in this
milk,
virtual reality,
answering questions.
It's almost like a real video game that you're in.
Yeah, and it's crazy because even though it was on my little 13-inch MacBook screen, you really zone in on it, and it almost feels like you're there, And so within 15 minutes, the potential hit me hard, and I was like, this is crazy. This is the future. This is crazy.
This is the present. I feel like it.
Yeah.
Right?
And the future is now. And so I was blown away. I was blown away by that. Blown away by the connections I made in no time. Didn't have to leave my house or anything. And then I carried on producing NFTs. Made several solid one-of-one sales. Got all this profit, and then came to the opportunity to buy some land in Decentraland, and it just seemed like common sense. And so I started looking at different parcels of land, and I probably looked at 20 of them and ended up paying twice what I was planning to pay for this one special piece of land, and it's mine now, and I can do whatever I want there. And I've been killing it there. I've gotten so much amazing community support. I was just voted to get my own star on the map. So it's a point of interest on the Decentraland map now, which is really hard to do, especially for a one parcel. Like I just have one square on the map. Most of the big points of interest are like 10 squares, they're estates. And it's pretty crazy.
Wow.
Just today I had someone rent my land for an NFT drop. So I made a lot of money today, had a big party, hundreds of people showed up.
That is amazing.
It was really cool.
So now you own that gallery. That's like your property inside the metaverse, and then you can do whatever you want. Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah. I've now had 2 collectible shows, two NFT collectibles shows. I've had a few solo shows. I've had a couple group shows, and I'm gonna put up a music experience soon, which should be really fun, and people are loving it.
I am obsessed with it, especially because I've been to at least 2 of your solo shows that you had at the galleries here, and we know how much it takes us to create an actual presential solo show, and now you have this piece of land inside the metaverse that you can just do all of these shows and create like in your home, in your pajamas if you want, and probably make a lot more money on it.
Because there's no, it costs money to produce a real life show. I mean, I paid for the land, which was a nice chunk of money, but I'm already 25% back to recovering that expense. And it's just I've had it since October, and it's just I'm gonna obliterate that, in a few months. But I could sell the land right now for like 5 times what I paid, because when Facebook announced their name change to Meta, it just boomed. The value boomed, and so now
you got on the perfect timing.
Yeah, my first solo show was the day they made that announcement. So I've just been really lucky with that. You know, I bought it probably 2 weeks before they made that announcement, and it
Wow.
went up in value like at least 5 times. And so now my lowball offers are what I paid for it, which is amazing. It's crazy,
That is
but
so
I'm not accepting
amazing.
it. Like, there's way more value in having the land than selling it for
Then
money.
sell it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh. And this in years is gonna value. It's just gonna go up and up.
maybe. I'm not worried about that. It could pay for my life, but I'm not thinking that way. To me, I'm thinking
Okay,
about
good.
having fun and creating cool stuff and putting it out there and meeting a lot of cool people and having a space that I can show other people's work, or just create awesome community experiences.
So you're pretty much creating your own shows inside the metaverse.
Yeah, I got nobody telling me what to do. If anybody tries to tell me what to do, I say no.
Oh, Paul,
It's my world.
congratulations. This is so amazing. You inspire me so much.
Yeah.
So let's say I want to get into the metaverse. What will be the first steps for somebody that wants to join this venture and see what is out there on the metaverse? What will be
I would go
the
to
few steps?
decentraland.org. Just join, create your avatar. You don't need to sign up for anything, but I recommend creating a MetaMask wallet and having that locked in so that when you come back, you don't have to do things over and over again. And then just explore. Go to the explore page, see what's happening. Go to the events, participate. Check out the live DJs. Check out all the cool art shows. They have some amazing events. Sometimes you can get free digital wearables, which is a whole other thing. I've made
Wow.
now 2 jean jackets and a shirt that I've been selling regularly. They sell every day. I've sold
Whoa,
more virtual clothes than I've sold T-shirts in real life.
that is insane. So
And
people can
I
just,
was laughing about the glasses that the guy was wearing before. I've spent way more than $800 on wearables now for sure. I have a bad obsession.
that is so amazing. So you just wear all this and you sell this for people to kind of use that product inside the metaverse. That's
Yeah, it's great for
amazing.
branding, but the best thing you can do with wearables and NFTs, especially now it's becoming really known, is to create utility out of your
Mm,
artworks. So musicians, for example, could sell an album as an NFT that will give their fans backstage access or special VIP
mm.
perks, or like Gary Vee, the marketer. You buy his NFT and you get access to his live trade shows that he does and talks and things like that. For me, my jean jacket lets you go to the VIP platform on my building. Um,
Mm.
there's little perks like that, but I also try to make them as cool as possible so that people want to wear it and look good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
And
like you're creating your own brand besides having
yes,
your own land.
yeah. So it's really like everything that you've been doing now on Instagram, but now you can really capitalize off of it way more easily than
Way
you
more
would
easily.
in the Instagram world.
Wow, Paul, you inspire me so much, and I hope all of you who are watching us are as fired up as I am. I was like, I just want to talk to you forever, and just like, oh my gosh, this is incredible, and it's so new for me. And I mean, video game has been forever, but we never knew that would be something that is so profitable, and it just blows
It's
people's
just
mind.
a whole new world. I mean, people are in control now. People rule. Nobody, it's decentralized. There's no government
Yeah.
telling you what to do.
Yeah, which
Um,
I think that's part of the whole blow up thing of this type of
yeah,
media,
unfortunately,
right?
there's weird press going around, and people have fears and doubts, and they're listening to the thoughts in their heads. And it's like there's nothing bad about going for it.
Decentralizing.
Just go
Yeah,
for it.
yeah.
And
And
like
let's be honest, if the mainstream is not really working properly, we should just create another one, and that's exactly what's happening right now.
I just
Right?
like I make all right. So I've done really well this past year, and I'm no longer doing body paint commissions. I if I'm gonna do another gallery show, I'm not printing and framing anything. Maybe I'll put up
Only.
a screen for people to see and potentially buy NFTs, but it would be more just painting live for showcase, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not like the last job that I did commission wise, I was there for like 12 hours. I made a nice chunk of money, but I knew that I could make more money just making the same work for myself.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like a huge waste of my time to be there for 12 hours. I'm losing networking opportunity in the NFT world. And so I stopped doing commissions. You know, I just don't have time to do commissions.
Mm-hmm.
And I stopped doing anything I don't want to do anymore, you know,
I
and I
love
just
that.
put all my energy into
The
NFTs.
thing.
And I still produce my work the way I want to produce it for YouTube and whatever platform I'm putting it out on. But NFTs are a huge part of my bread and butter right now. And the
And I
metaverse is just like game over.
I love that because the way that you speak, you do it because you want to do it. It is not
Yeah.
because it will create more money or anything like that. It's just you found a niche and something that worked for you and for the type of work. You just do it for the sake of it, to be able to share and connect and spread your work to those people who are interested. And I think that's what it's actually like behind that, what is working out. You're not doing it for the sake of money
Right.
or you
Right.
know what I mean. I think that's
Absolutely.
such a
Absolutely.
different
Like I said,
uh,
authenticity is key. Enjoy what you're doing. If it feels like a job to you, you're gonna get burnt out. You're
or,
gonna not enjoy it, you
or
know?
if you want to do it, you want to learn all these skills just because you were expecting to make a certain amount of money. So I don't think that's the right approach. So I think this is a really good key in there before you even start creating your NFTs or metaverse.
Yeah. Community first, fun first, and money is the bonus. That's the way I
Mm-hmm.
look at it. And
Mm-hmm.
don't listen to those voices in your head making excuses. Like it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Like so many times I've tried to bring so many people into this opportunity, and they talk themselves out of it. And I'm kind of done trying to bring people in because like it takes a lot of energy and a lot of time because
Mm-hmm.
I've sat down for hours helping people sign up to platforms and things like that. But like you really have to just decide to go for it and just check it out and enjoy yourself and don't listen to those voices in your heads making excuses like, yeah, but a painting you can't make that an NFT. It has to be animated. That's not true. You can sell anything. I've seen people sell a stick figure drawing for thousands of dollars. You know, I've seen
Wow.
craziest stuff. And anything is possible. If someone likes it, they'll buy it. And they have tons of 20-something-year-olds that are crypto millionaires that just
Wow.
need somewhere to spend their wealth, you know, but that's not even like their priority. There's just so much more beyond that. That's just like level one. Like the metaverse is insane. Wearables, to me, wearables are a huge opportunity. And right now it's not super saturated. So now is a great time to get in on that. NFTs are
Wow.
getting saturated a little bit,
A
but
little bit, right?
wearables, everybody wants to look good.
Yeah.
My first solo show, I was like, damn, I can't just wear like the basic avatar clothes.
Yeah,
So
especially
it
your
was a
solo
Halloween show,
show.
so I bought a mummy costume for my avatar for like $50. And I stood out a little bit. Like you got to stand out a little bit. Everybody wants to look good. Everyone wants to show their personality. So
Yeah.
you make wearables that people want to buy, they'll snatch them up.
Wow. That's so it's blowing my mind. It's great, so crazy.
Yeah.
And what do you think is the future of the traditional art with all of this metaverse and the NFT? Do you think will devalue? I would love to
No,
know
it'll all
your
coexist.
opinion.
It'll coexist. I think
Hmm.
in extreme world, let's say that NFTs and the metaverse completely took over, it would be like it
More
would be like
valuable, probably.
MP3s versus records. You know, you
Mm.
still have people interested in records. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
never gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
But MP3s are MP3s. Like you can't top MP3s. You know,
And
NFTs are NFTs.
I
You
feel
can't
like
top
it.
it.
I feel also like going to the traditional art and the future of itself. At the end of the day, you still want to sit down in your kitchen table and eat, looking into a painting, you know, a real painting. or unless you do this frame just like you do with the NFT like going
Yeah,
on, which is probably
yeah.
what's going to happen very soon.
I think the very, very textured paintings where you see the depth of the paintbrush strokes are still extremely nice to look at. But
Hmm.
like you said, I have my NFT screen in my studio in between two traditional framed photos, and I almost never look at the photos because they just don't stand out like a video screen does. And the video
Mm.
screens now are just going to get better and better, and they're going to start looking like real traditional pieces of art, you know? Like when I put a photo on my screen, if you came into the room, you would think it was a photo. You wouldn't think it was a TV screen. But it
Wow.
changes. I could change it with the click of a button, you know? And that's just going to get easier and easier. And people are going to be able to imagine Samsung puts out a frame TV, and now you can sign up for this subscription network like you would for Netflix or something, and you can buy your art for like $2. And so you would get your piece of your art on this subscription thing that's sold around the world, you know? Like that's
Wow.
definitely possible. That's already starting to happen. And it's kind of
Yeah,
like, it's kind of where things are headed, you know?
I
And
am
as soon
100.
as you get infected by it and you're like, whoa, I just made this much money sitting on my couch.
And then you
And
don't
then
want to deal with anything that you
yeah,
used
you
to
don't
do it
want to pay to
anymore.
ship. You don't want to pay 50% commission. You don't want to do any of that stuff anymore. Like, why?
You don't want to ship a canvas anymore. I was just in the post office today, like shipping like a bunch of stuff. And now you've been talking about this. I'm like super fired up to get into it.
Every time I ship anything, I have crazy anxiety about it getting damaged on the way and then having to deal with it. And it's like, that's a thing of the past. I don't have to worry about that anymore. And I'm over that.
That is so cool. So now let's talk about the people who collect the NFT. What kind of, is that like a certain type of people or is that a certain age? What kind of people they're there to collect art instead of
I
like
mean,
just,
it's everybody,
okay,
all ages, all types, all genders, all everything,
okay.
ethnicities. The only thing that I think differentiates them from anyone else is that they signed up, you know, they took the leap into this weird world, this unknown world, and they went for it. Like
They,
I tell other NFTs, other NFT artists that we are the sperm that made it, you know. When the rest of the world is still like wondering what's going on, these crazy people took that step, explored it, and are benefiting from it significantly, you know, in the
Mhm.
past year. And you know that like the hard part to me is like those same people that took that leap with NFTs are now the people that are too scared to check out the metaverse. And so I'm trying to
Uh,
get these NFT artists to come see the metaverse, and they're kind of scared of it. And it's like, go for it. Like you did it once, do it
what you
again.
gonna
Like,
lose, right?
yeah, what are you
This is
afraid of? It's
crazy.
just click on the
Yeah.
browser and explore it.
Like
But
again, it's not going nowhere. Might as well enjoy now. I don't
it's
think if
coming. It's coming. I mean, if Facebook spent $10 billion, change their name to Meta, it's
yeah,
coming. It's coming, whether you like it or not. Right
yeah,
now, nobody knows which platform is going to win. Some people say that they'll coexist. Some say that one will win. Everybody's anti-Facebook, but who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But one thing is for sure that it's coming. I
yeah.
can personally guarantee that. Like, and you can be resistant to it as much as you want. Just like we were, all, like many of us were resistant to smartphones, but look where we're at now. You know,
Or
like
that
this.
if you remember those blackberries, which was even like, you know, it totally like doesn't exist anymore. It is
Yeah,
so interesting to see.
yeah.
And it might be a risk. It might be like that NFTs are pretty hot right now. It might go down for a certain period, but there's still a few that's gonna be there. I think
I
that's
believe that it's gonna level out at a bottom, and it won't be as pricey as it was. I think there's gonna be a small percentage of people who are just really dominating and making tons of money, but those are
hmm
the people that put in all the hard work, and it really is a full-time job. But
hmm.
I enjoy every second of it, and
Do you have help like
no,
towards your
I mean the
NFTs
community helps me. I
creation?
mean, what's cool is like, you know, you build your community on Twitter, and then somebody buys your work, and you build a relationship with the collector, because now you're a team. Because
Mm.
if they
He,
resell your artwork, which you should encourage, you get a piece of that sale, and you want them to sell
mm.
it for as much as possible, you know? So now people that you collect with, like in real life, you may not always be connected to your collectors. Some galleries don't even tell you who bought it, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
so you never have that. But now I've sold thousands of NFTs, and I can't even keep track of all the collectors. I've tried to write all their names down, but I have like
Wow,
a huge handful of collectors that I'm connected to almost every day, and we talk to each other almost every day, and
that's amazing.
we talk about anything. We're friends now, but we also think about, you know, how can we push the artwork to the next level? How can we grow my brand? Things like that, you know, because it's in everybody's best interest, and that's a really awesome thing, you know, that we didn't totally have before.
Yeah, it is almost like you're building a team with your collectors and they can
Yes.
help you grow too. Because I think at the end of the day, collectors, they want to see you grow. And that's why they're supporting you and they're investing in you. And now
Yeah.
it's just kind of like creating this partnership with the
Yeah, because
collectors all over the world.
one of one art pieces are the hardest things to flip. You know,
Mm,
collectibles are easy compared to that. Um, Music, I think, is a huge opportunity for NFTs,
mm-hmm.
especially to cut out the music label completely. Because
Mm,
like a fan of your music can buy your album, get the utility backstage access, but then they can
mm,
sell your album when it sells out, which you'll get a percentage of, but they'll also profit off of it. So now the fan of the artist, the musician, becomes like the music label, profiting off of the music
mm.
that they like. And you don't need a music label anymore. You can have like you can get discovered on YouTube like Justin Bieber, have a humongous following, make millions of dollars on the primary sale of an album, and then when people are done with the album, they can resell it, and you get a piece of that, you know. And then there's no music label taking 80% or whatever the percentage is from that. So music
So,
labels are in trouble. I think
yeah, it is
they need to
probably
work their way around that somehow.
which I think that will be something that we're all kind of expected because, like, for musicians, it's so hard to get your name out there unless, you know, like you
Well,
have that.
it's much
It
easier
was
now.
exactly.
Yeah,
So
it's
I think
much
it's
easier
about
now.
time. Yeah.
Yeah,
So just to be clear, every time that somebody buys your NFTs and every time that they will resell, you also get a piece of it, a
yeah,
percentage. It doesn't matter
yeah.
how many times that
Yes.
it's
And on
selling.
some platforms, you can list that percentage. Some OpenSea, I think, is only like, I don't remember if it was 2.5% or something like that. But the platform that I use most, I set it at 15%. Sometimes I might do an edition of like a huge edition of like 100, for example, or an open edition that I end up closing out after a certain amount of time. So it might be like 400 edition, and I might make that 25% sales because I usually
Mm-hmm.
make those super cheap. And what's
Mm-hmm.
amazing is what really took off my NFT journey was a lot of people, I think probably everyone, is guilty of like coming into this NFT world and thinking like, all right, I'm gonna save my good stuff for when I really get it, and I'm just gonna
Uh,
put out some testers and see how it works. But like nobody wants to buy your testers. They want your good
yes,
shit, you know?
you
So
need
like
to
if
put
you
your
think your
good
stuff is
stuff.
sucks and you put it out, how can you expect anybody to buy that? So I had this epiphany one day and I was like, all right, I'm gonna take one of my most popular photos and I'm gonna put it out dirt cheap, open edition, see how many people pick it up. And so it was literally like $3 each. And I had
Wow.
open edition. I sold 100 of them, so that was $300. That was the same day that I sold a real print randomly that annoyed me. And then so I sold 300 of those at $3 a pop. Closed, or I sold 100 of them, $3 a pop. Closed off the edition, so it's an edition of 100. And then now 3 4 months later, they're reselling for $30 each, and I get 25% of that. The secondary sale is more than the primary
Then your
sale.
first one
And because they
because
were
it
such
gets
a
value.
solid image, it was a home run image, they're moving. They're like nonstop moving. So it's just continuous money coming
Wow.
in when people
And and that percentage of the resale, it is the platform that will
Yeah,
okay.
it's just automatic. The platform will just, it's all automatic. So it
Okay.
immediately goes into your wallet. The NFT goes
Mm.
directly to the buyer. There's no, you don't even have to talk to them. I've sold to anonymous buyers, so I have no idea who they are. I made a mistake one time on an NFT. I accidentally uploaded a GIF instead of a video. And I realized it after 5 out of 10 people bought it. And I was like, oh,
Oh
and that was like the
no.
ETH. So I had to pay all these gas fees, which is kind of hard to explain, but you have to pay, on the Ethereum blockchain, you have to pay gas fees to conduct transactions, which can be
Mm.
super expensive. But I ended up spending like $500 asking them to send them back to me so I could send them the good one and
The right one.
burn the wrong one. But one of them was an anonymous buyer, and I couldn't reach him. And if I didn't get his back, I couldn't destroy the original 10. So I
Got
needed
it.
his back to do that. So I had to create an NFT with a message and send it to his wallet and hope he would see it. And I gifted everybody an extra NFT for all the trouble. And
Uh-huh.
so like 2 months later, I got it back. Finally, he saw the message. I got it back, and I was able to clear that out and make everything right. But so it was
This
really
is
complicated,
amazing.
you know.
It is complicated, but like it, of course, it's like a very for me, you talking, it was just my mind is just like bloating. It's probably like a lot of work of creating that NFTs. And do you think now with time that you've been doing for you can do it like in a little do you found like a little easier way or you can do a little
Yeah,
faster?
you sort of figure out what works for you. You know, it's different for everybody.
Yeah,
Like,
it's not right or wrong. Do you just have to find like the best way that
right.
will work for you?
Basically, the way that I would go about it is start small, start cheap. Like,
Mm-hmm.
unless you already have like mainstream awareness, you can't expect anybody to just spend a ton of money on you if they don't know anything about you.
Mm-hmm.
So start your brand small. Like I said, I sold for $3 a pop. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like who's like I basically was trying to create impulse buys with a home run image, you know, and it worked.
Mm-hmm.
And then I built community from that. Now I had 100 collectors that I could connect with and follow on Twitter and talk to, and I could grow from there. And then I would create editions that were a certain price, and I began. Let's say I wanted to change it to, I wanted to make. Let's say I wanted to make $100 on an edition. I could do an edition of 100 for $1 each. An edition
Mm-hmm.
of, I'm so bad at math. 50 for whatever that is, 20 for whatever that is, and 25 would be $4 each, you know? So you figure that out and you learn how many editions you can sell quickly. So
Mm-hmm.
so I discovered that I could sell 12 editions. At one time I was selling those out in 3 minutes. You know,
Wow.
so I would figure out the math of what I wanted to make and if it was possible first. And then I would do that. And then you create the scarcity and you create the demand based on
Mm-hmm.
what you're capable of selling within a day, you know? And so
Based on
people will
what you
race.
actually, wow. Based also in how much do you think you can make on that specific
Yeah, you have to be
work?
realistic. Like you
Okay.
can't start at a high price because then you're not going to sell out quick. And I think
Mm-hmm.
it's more valuable to sell them out quick and create the demand and then raise your prices. And once the demand slows down, then you kind of found your peak. And this kind of varies based on whichever image you're selling. Some images are better than others, and we can't always recognize ourselves which ones are good. You know, sometimes you just
Mm-hmm.
have to leave it up to what the
To the
community says.
to got it.
But that's to me that's the best way to go about it. I've seen some people get really lucky and make 15 grand on a one of one piece. Like an 18-year-old would get that, and it's just some random collector who was just like, I like that, and bought it. You know. But
Wow.
sometimes these collectors, like you get lucky if that happens. You know, sometimes they don't even look and they just buy it. And I don't see the value in that because will they come back and buy another one later? Can you establish a relationship with them, especially if they're anonymous? I see more value in long term, sell low, collect collectors, and build relationships. And that'll grow your brand and your community. And I think that's way more valuable.
And be patient.
Oh, yeah.
I
Patience
love
and
that.
consistency.
Consistent. I love that, Paul. I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy that you're like killing it. And there's one last question that I have for you because it's been almost like 1 hour already. It's crazy. And the question is, like, if it's somebody like just do drawings or like the NFTs is for all things related to art. Do you think there's a specific type of art that will go better than the other? Like, for example, I am a very visual, I do like a canvas, painting on canvas. How would be a good way to actually turn into an NFTs? And is that a specific type of work?
Well, yeah, right now what's kind of trending a little bit is generative art, and I haven't
Mm,
really looked at it because it doesn't. I'm not feeling it for my work. But
mm-hmm,
basically, there's photographers and there's painters that basically implant imagery of their artwork into a computer, and it spits out. Let's say you put like 100 images in, and it'll
mm-hmm.
spit out like a whole new image based off of its own design, and that's like
Okay.
generative. That's generative art, and that's really popular right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not super into it, but it's popular. That does really
Okay.
well. One of my
Nice.
friends wanted to create photos with filters, and I was telling him like you should really look into generative art. It's kind of like it's very similar, and I think you could benefit more from exploring that. That's good. Collectibles are always good if they're done right. Collectibles are definitely easier to make money than traditional art, but anything is really possible.
Just have to use your creativity and get into this universe because it's not going anywhere, right, Paul?
I don't think it's going anywhere. I think it's very unlikely. Anything is
Wow.
possible, but I think once you explore it and see the pros, it just change. It's a game changer. I mean, the LA Art Show last year. I don't know if you went to see the LA Art Show.
Yeah, yeah, I did.
Their NFT display, I was happy to see, was front and center. It was beautiful, and I mean, the traditional artwork is gorgeous, but NFTs are real game changers. I mean, I had my work shown in London this year, and I didn't have to do anything. They invited me, and I said, "Yeah, go for it." They downloaded the
Sure.
NFT, put it on their screen in London. There was no shipping. I had a sale from that like a week later, and it's I didn't leave or do anything. Like, how do you
Wow.
top that? And it probably looked a lot better than it would have if I sent a framed print because the screen is so vibrant and it was motion, it was a motion
Mm.
video. So it's like, it was
No, for
wonderful.
your, I think your work, it's just like the perfect fit, almost like the NFT was made for the
Yeah,
type of work that you do,
yeah,
especially like you were saying towards the beginning that you do the body painting, and then even though you can film, but like how you're gonna make it and sell it as original, right?
right.
So, my gosh, I want to see if we have any questions here from all of these beautiful people who are watching us. Um, but thank you, Paul. Is there anything else that you'd like to say, like from your future projects? Anything specific that you'd like to tell us about, or that we should know about it?
I just
And
I just
how people
want
can
I just
find
want
you.
people to check out the metaverse. Like
Okay.
don't sleep on that. I'm
Okay.
telling you right now, if you're an artist, don't sleep on the metaverse.
And what
It's
kind of knowledge
huge.
do I need? For example, I can see like myself. That's one thing I wanted to create, like a 3D version of my paintings inside the metaverse. So what kind of skills and knowledge I should be looking for it to
I mean, you
actually
can
create this?
explore AR and VR. You
Okay.
can explore interaction. There's like the potential is endless, really. But
Okay.
you can just leave it a 2D image in the metaverse, and that's totally fine. There's
Uh,
no reason to. In fact, like a lot of collectors say, don't add stuff to your art because you think you have to. Like just
mm,
be genuine, authentic. Do what you need to do.
got it. Don't overcomplicate it things. Just do what you can.
Yeah, because you're gonna kill it a little bit if you do that too much. I mean,
Got
it's
it.
it's a whole new, like doing that, you'll have to learn a whole new kind of art form, and
Mm,
so the start of it is gonna be weak. until you really kind of master it and get the hang of it. But there's
Mm,
nothing wrong with doing that. You know, go for it if you feel like doing it. But I think it's more valuable to do what you want to do. Like have a good time, make sure you're enjoying it. Otherwise, you're not going to have fun, and you know,
yeah,
what's the point of that?
yeah, it's not gonna be very, very good at all. I love it. Paul, where people can find you on NFTs, or what would be the best place people can find you and check your beautiful work and all of the
You
things
can
that
go
you've
to
been
my
doing?
website, bodypainter.com, and it has everything there. There's a page for NFTs, page for YouTube, page for Patreon, all the links to get you where you need to go to find me. And the NFT page has a link to my property on Decentraland,
And you also
which
have
there's a
like,
party happening right now that I'm missing.
oh no, I'm gonna let you
There's
go.
hundreds of people there right now.
That's crazy. Well, I'm gonna let you go to enjoy that party. Thank you so much, Paul.
Yeah, my
I
pleasure.
loved our conversation. I appreciate it, and I will talk to you very soon.
All
Thank
right,
you.
have fun. Take it easy. Thanks for having me.
You too. Absolutely. Bye.